Okay, so Gameus is quest system. What I've done here is just downloaded the demo now that Gameus has given us. What I need to show you is just one or two little things that's part of it. So when you download the whole demo section, what you're going to get in it is everything here. So the JS, JavaScripts and plugins, the Gameus quest system is here. Okay. Something else you might want to take is in images, pictures. We've got the completed and failed, unless you have your own or you want to get some from somewhere else. Pretty simple and easy to make, so it's not a problem. And the Gameus quest editor. Okay, those are the things that you're probably going to want to take from this demo. But the reason for this is a lot of people are still using this demo and tried the demo and are still suffering, or struggling I should say, with trying to work out how to set everything up properly and how Gameus has got everything set up. So what I'm going to do is just go over what he set up and how. Okay, so if you want to do something similar, you can. So what I'm going to start with, I'm going to bypass this section for now. Okay, go into that bit in a minute. So we'll start with this section really. So once you've come out of here, okay, it tells you to get your sword. You get your sword, and you go down through here. Okay, so you leave the area in this map, and the moment you enter this map, these 5 cats are going to just walk around willy-nilly. Okay, the guard at the top here won't let you past until you're willing to help this granny here. Okay, this granny's looking for her 5 cats, and she says that her neighbour knows something about it. So how they've set this up, Gameus, what he's done is up here, now we've got an event, okay, out of the way. We'll open this up and just have a look. Now, he has pretty much explained this really well, so it's not that hard really if you just have a little think about it and everything, but what I tend to forget and I mainly want to advise to everyone and say is make sure your trigger is set to parallel. Numerous times I've tried setting the quest icons and everything up, and every time I load the game up I think, oh, what have I done wrong, what have I done wrong, and gone over it 6 or 7 times to find myself realising that this was still an action button. It needs to be running parallel in the background so that it's constantly running every time you open and load this map up. So we'll start with the simplest bit here, as he's wrote, you know, he has commented and put a little description of what each section is for you to understand as well. So first of all, you need to make sure the quest that isn't completed. So what he's done here is first up is gone for a conditional branch, okay, and into tab 4 script, and in here is the $, and everything is case sensitive. Okay, so one little thing could cause problems, so just make sure when you're writing it out you just double check it before you carry on the next section. The game quests you want to get quest number, so here will be your quest number. If it's quest 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you don't need to add the zeros in it, even though your variable quests will look like that when you set them up. It doesn't matter, as long as you stick with 1 or 11 or 15 or whatever like that. What it's doing is checking if it's completed equals false. Okay, the reason for false is we want to check that it's not being completed. That's the first major part of it. It's not check that it's completed, but the check is not completed. Okay, and by adding this, then you get, well, you don't get all this, but obviously you get to an end point. Within this now, straight up, first section is game party has quest. Okay, so we've gone from checking if you've had the quest altogether. Now we're checking if the party has the quest, basically. So have you spoken to the woman and got the quest off her? And so has the party received quest number 1? So again, that'll be your quest number, whatever quest you choose to have. This is number 1. I do apologise for sniffing. I've got a really bad cold, so there you go. Sorry about that. And you want to make sure you create an else branch on this section. Okay, I'll show you that now as well. So again, conditional branch for script game party dot has quest and your quest number in there with an else branch. Okay, now, so as he stated, your next line down then is the party has the quest. So that's what this is, checking that the party has the quest. as it says, game party has quest. So the party has the quest, now to see if they have all the cats yet, which she's asked for. So this is where I'll do the next check now. So next up is, again, conditional branch into number 4, script. And you're going to type this in, and what it means is, like I said, is the game, your quests, get quest number, obviously again, whatever quest number that is. This is quest number 1, it could be number 32 in yours, and your current step equals 0, okay? So 0 is actually 1, and 1 is 2, so I don't know how you want to look at it, but yeah. 0 will be the first step, so the first step would obviously be, could you please find my 5 cats? And what that's done is checking to see if you found the 5 cats, basically there, while asking if you're on that step. The next part then is if cats are found. Okay, again, it's a conditional branch. What this is a variable. Cats found is equal to 5. Okay, with a create else branch. And how he's done that to make sure that the cats are checked is in the quest editor that he has. In the cat collector, we have find all 5 cats, Mrs. Buttersworth's neighbour might have seen them. When this was created, okay, he put the name in, the show progress, so we can see how many of the cats have been found from 1 to 5. He's put a variable in, cats found, okay, so we've got cats found 1, and max value, there's 5 cats, so 5 to be found as the value. So cats found 5, and what you're going to do is basically on each cat, he has it set up so that every time you find one, it adds 1 to the variable, and that's how you make your 5. So what they do there, like I said, is variable cats found is equal to 5, because 5 is the full one, with a create else branch, obviously if they haven't found the 5 cats. So if cats found is 5, so as you can see they have found them all, let's go to the next step. So you need to tell it then that it has found them, and head over to next step, which is 1, like I said, which would be step 2. So in the script part of things, by hearing the commands, 0 is actually this one here, the first quest, and 1 is actually the next one. So the next one down would be your third one on your steps list, what will be number 2 in the step stage on the code in by here. So plug in command, okay, in there, and quest next step 1. 1 obviously meaning the quest number. So the description that I gave by there really is a bit stupid. It works on current step, but that's not the same for quest next step. Quest next step basically means that's your quest number, so if it's quest number 45, that's what it'll be. Okay, it'll just take you to the next step of that quest. So it's quest number 1, and basically it wants you to go to the next step. Okay, now that's if the 5 cats have been found. So in the else section, we're going to say what if they haven't found them. So as you can see here, not all have been found. We can create a balloon on the neighbour to give the player some direction where to go. Now you don't need that at all if you don't want to. How Gameus has got it set up is so that she says her neighbour knows how to find it. He has a bubble above his head, you can click on him, talk to him, and he says he's seen them over there. You don't actually have to have that, so but that's part of his layout. That's the else section here. A lot of people might not want that, so they just check for the 5 cats. If they've got the 5 cats, on to the next step, plain and simple. If they haven't, then they haven't started the quest. Make sense? If that's the case, you could either add that in to navigate the person to go to somewhere else by having a balloon on somewhere else's head. What we're going to do is going to drop down 2 ends and into the if section here. After the second end, which you'll see is that's the first end and that's the second end. So what you're going to be looking at is game party has quest 1. Okay, they have quest 1. Okay, and that's current step 0. So what you've done in current step 0 is checked if they have the cats or don't have the cats and what to do. Now, what if they're not even on that current step, they're on this step, what it'll do is now it's going to check for step 1, which, like I said again, is talk to Mrs. Buttersworth. Okay, sugar. Conditional branch for script. So the game quests get quest number, whatever your quest is again, 45, 145, whatever, and your current step is equaled to 1. So that means get they're talking to Mrs. Buttersworth. Basically, that's what they're on. If that makes sense. And end. Okay, so if that's the case, they've either had to go through that procedure there. Okay, if they don't need to go through that procedure, it'll go through this one. So they've obviously done the first part. We're on to the second step. Create another balloon over Mrs. Buttersworth. A balloon will now appear over her to indicate that you found the cats, return to her. Again, you can have that if you want, you don't have to. A lot of people will like it and some people won't. But it's a way of showing that your quest is complete, return back to her. She's got an exclamation mark above her head. So we end that. And onto our else section that we created. Okay, from here. My bad, from here. Game party has quest, so it checks quest 1 and checks quest 2, or 0 and 1, sorry. Now, what it'll do if it checks them and you haven't even started the quest, this is where else comes into it. So, party does not have cat collector, show a question mark. This is the main one that everyone seems to want, is the quest hasn't been started, you don't even know about the quest, and you'd like a bubble appearing above someone's head. This is where you would put it in this whole script altogether, this event. And as you can see, it shows a question mark that she needs help. And it's as simple as show balloon icon, Mrs. Buttersworth. I'm pretty sure you know how to do that. I can't remember now. Show balloon icon, Mrs. Buttersworth, and the icon you want to show. And set it for wait to completion. Obviously, wait for completion means that it'll just stay there and keep flickering back and forth and everything until you've completed the task that is at hand. So you've got that set up, that's your speech bubbles above their heads. That speech bubbles there now, that whole event there does speech bubbles for her and for him. So, now that you've got the speech bubble set up, okay, and your quest sections, what you need to do is set the quest up exactly. So you've clicked on your event or you've made your person, and you start with a simple one, nothing at all in conditions or anything like that. You've got your image for your character and a simple, I've lost my cats, would you be willing to find them? Show choices, yes or no. Okay, so you create a yes and a no question choice. No, that's fine, no problem. You know, you could have something in there. You could type anything in there. That's fine, love. You know, she's obviously not bothered about her cats that much, if that's the case. If you click yes, then what you want to do is, straight away, is a plugin command. Okay, into 3, plugin command. And what you'll do is as simple as quest, because that's what you want to do. Okay, it's the quest section, and add. And you're going to add the quest and the quest number, so 1 or 45, whatever the quest number is. So there was quest number 1. And that's added into there. So they've got plugin command quest add 1 and control switch cat collector equals on. Okay, so cat collector now is activated, so various things around the game obviously are running different now. So oh wonderful, blah 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 blah. Set up a new event page for her with cat collector condition activated as a switch, and she says oh wonderful, maybe my neighbour's seen them somewhere. Okay, so what you would do then obviously is think to yourself, right, I need to go to the neighbour now and just work on that bit next. I'm going through it as if you were setting it up bit at a time. Obviously, when you get used to it and everything, you would kind of just go up to her and go, right, okay, set page 1, 2, 3, 4 up, she's done, out of the way. Go to him, set 1, 2, 3, do you know what I mean? So I'm going through it a bit at a time. So this one here just sets all your bubbles up for you. She's just set for the quest now, so you've spoken to her, you've just got quest 1, neighbour, okay? If you was to speak to him before her, it's, well, howdy there, how do howdy do there? Well, howdy do there. Okay. But, as you know, we got cat collector on, so switch to cat collector. I think I saw one of them by the lake. Okay. So, what we do then is you head over to your cats. Now, if you was to speak to the cats before the quest, as you know, everyone knows how to use switches and variables, so I really am going way too far into detail with this. Any other time the cat will just say meow. Meow. Okay, instead of meow, but meow. It's like a tiger cat. But cat collector's activated, so we've got a new event page for cat collector. Now, the cat will make exactly the same sound, but this time, control variable is cats found plus equals 1. Okay, so control variables, a single item, cats found, add 1. By doing that, then control self switch A into event, bam, cat vanishes. Okay, if you do that then obviously on all 5 items, so I don't know, they could be potatoes or anything, whatever you're choosing to collect X amount of something or find X amount of something. Like I said, potatoes or something, it could be potato found or potato collector, potato found plus 1. So it now knows that you found a potato basically from that cat and the cat's gone. Okay, and that's added 1. You found that cat, it's now going to go to 2, 3, and so on once you've collected the 5. Now, once you've collected the 5, it knows you've collected the 5, and this thing up here, as we know, is running parallel, which means it's going to keep running over and over and over again. So this now will all of a sudden kick back in. It does another loop sort of thing, and it goes, whoa, okay, they found the 5 cats now. Okay, so this has changed now from the exclamation mark that before you spoke to her. Once you had spoken to her, it come up here. Then it was asking, have they found the 5 cats yet? Because you've spoken to her. Well, no, you hadn't. So the neighbour had the balloon on his head. And you spoke to the neighbour, and you've gone and found the cats. So you've now found the cats. You've found them all. Well done. What you need to do, quest, next step. So this has now told us that you found 5 cats. You're on to the next stage. This will activate balloon now over Buttersworth. As you can see, we're on to the second step. Let's create another balloon. So that's what happens on quest 0. They finished. On to the next quest there. Drops you down to there then because you're on current step 1 now, not 0. You're down here. We're on the second step. Put another balloon above Mrs. Buttersworth. With the new balloon above Mrs. Buttersworth, you're encouraged to walk over and talk to her. So you go over to Mrs. Buttersworth. Okay, last time you spoke to her, cat collector was on, which is so wonderful. Maybe my neighbour's seen them. Now, she's going to check instead for variable cats found, and that they equal to 5. Because she'll only talk to you now and say this: if you found all 5 cats, each one gave you a +1 to the variable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your 5 cats. Bam. On to the next section. Thank you so much for finding them all. Here's your reward, moi. Okay? So, mark the quest as completed, which is done with a simple plugin command. That's stage 3, tab 3 plugin command. There you go. What you do is quest, complete, and then the quest number. So, if your quest was number 45, 50, 60, whatever, I don't know. Quest complete is number 1. Okay? Bam, done. So quest complete 1, well done. What he's done here is activated another quest based on this quest. So that logically now would be the end of that quest altogether. The speech bubbles would disappear from everything, they wouldn't reappear, and that's the end of it. Okay, if that was the case, you would have this self switch here. Okay, and every time you spoke to this woman, she would say thank you for your help. End of conversation. Same with this gentleman here. He would be set to cats found 5 variable. Glad you found them all. End of. But there is another quest set up then on top of that one. And what he's done to get that working is, as soon as quest 1 was finished, instantly activate quest 2. Okay, so he's in the middle of doing another quest. He wants to go and kill some monsters. which was an auto quest at the start of the game tutorial. As soon as you started it up, the demo, he wants to kill things. He can't go and kill things because he's not allowed. The guard up here won't let him. He needs to help this lady first, as I explained at the start. So, quest next step 2 now. What happened is he already had quest add 2, which was quest 2 added at the beginning of the game. Okay? He's now at the stage 2 of it now, which is to go and kill some monsters, because he couldn't at the start, like I said. So, guess that hidden reward was a big sloppy kiss. Right, I want to kill some monsters. Cell switch A, bam. Thank you again for your help. So, she's forgotten about, he's forgotten about, this doesn't exist anymore, the cats are all gone, all you're left with is a little house, and this guy here. So, this guy here, on the other hand, he was set up so, if you want him set up so that, for example, how he is now is, you cannot get past him until you've helped this lady. Oops. Can't get past him until you've helped this lady. So how he set that up is, again, very similar to the event up in the top corner here, is start with a conditional branch. Okay, and it's game quests.get quest number. So her quest is number 1. He's not going to let you past until you finish her quest. So if her quest was number 6, the quest that she gave you would be number 6. So he needs to know if quest number 1 is completed. Okay, so he'll do a check, and if it is completed, which is what this command does here, is, well, you've proven yourself a hero, not really, I suppose I'll let you through. He ups, moves out of the way, he's gone, and exit event processing, which is all that. So if it's completed, that happens, he disappears, end of. Okay, now outside of that branch, you just have a standard text file. I can't trust you to go beyond this point, maybe help some of the others. So what this does here is, by checking if it's completed, it'll tell him that if it's completed, do that. As soon as it does that check and it goes, no, it's not completed, ignore that script completely and just read that out. By doing that, he'll vanish, letting you up to the second section up here, where again, there's various scripts and everything up here. On to quest 2, as you know, it knows now that you're in script 2, game quest 2, and you're on step 2, which is, like I said, you want to kill some monsters. This step here was activated from here, like I said. If you go quest next step for quest 2, okay, it kicks you up into this quest here. What it is it wants to check if you've killed 10 monsters, basically. So you'd come up here, you'd kill these monsters. So battle processing, bat, control variable, monsters killed, plus 3. It's set up so that there's 3 bats, obviously, bat times 3. You've killed 3, control switch A on. Once you've killed them, they're gone. How we have set that up in the editor is adventure time, grab your sword off the wall, we've done that. Let's see if someone needs help, we've done that, that was helping the woman. Time to kill some monsters, monsters killed. So, edit that and you'll see he's got show progress mode on, so you can see how many you've killed. The variable for it is monsters killed, as you know, and the max to kill is 10. Show a percentage. You can show a percentage, or you can show 10. So showing percentage, what it'll do, it'll accumulate out of 10 every time you kill a fight. That's, 10%, 1%, 30%, 60%, and so on until you reach 100%, and then it'll tell you that you're 100% killed the amount. You can take show percentage off and it'll tell you that you've killed 3 of 10, 6 of 10, etc. and things like that. So that's how we set that up in one whole run. So for each time you kill one of these, again, like you said, he's added plus 3 to the variable. Control variables. See, what he's done is just monsters killed, add 3. Okay, so he knows there's 3 in there. If obviously it only consisted of bats times 1, then that would be kills times 1. Control self switch A on. It's gone. The enemy's gone. This up here is check-in to make sure when you've killed them all or not. So you come into here, nothing happens. You just come up and you stab, 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 stab. Take all of them out. The moment you take all of them out, this is obviously parallel. It's going running over and over and over. Nothing's happening when you first walk in because it's not checking the step that you're on. It's checking the step after. It needs to know if you've killed all 10 creatures. As soon as you've killed the 10th one, it'll register and pick it up. And quest next step 2, which will take you to the final step, which will be there. Okay, and obviously, as you know, quest is the call, next step, and number 2 is the actual number of the quest that you want to be doing. And it says, phew, that's enough adventuring for one day, let's go home and rest. Self switch A on, done. That doesn't exist, it's not going to check anymore. If you don't do the self switch on there, and obviously you've done that step, every time you walk up in here, it's going to keep coming off saying adventuring, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's it, that's done, that takes you back home, you come home. Now, there's a reason I didn't explain this bit first. When you first start off, you're automatically facing this book, which is also set up to open your quest log. Okay, you can call your quest log from anywhere in the game. Would you like to open your quest log, yes or no? As simple as a plug-in command, quest, open. So all you need to do, you can set that up any way you want. But the reason for this is there's a lot of stuff in by here. So we've got start the game that turns the player up, tells you about it, explanation, things like that, turns you down. I feel like going on an adventure, I should probably grab my sword first, I should probably clean this place up at some point. Okay, so by that and that, he's indicating 2 quests. Okay, one is a main quest, adventure, one is a side quest, he wants to clean the place up. That's quest 1, that's quest 2, and that's quest number 3. The lady outside is quest number 1, that's why I done her first. So it adds quest 2, and it adds quest 3, which on here is adventure time and cleanup. Adventure time's first mission, so the moment that quest add 2 is done, it brings up grab your sword off the wall. And number 3 is pick up all the things, there. And then that activates control self switch A. Now, this is where it does your checks. If on the first step, as you can see there in the comments section, so the game quests, check in task 2, quest 2, which is adventure time, as you can see. Current step 0, so grab your sword off the wall. It's doing a check on that, and if you haven't done it, it needs to show the sword. So a balloon, as you can see there, appears here to indicate pick your sword up. Make sense? If you've done that, okay, if you've walked over and grabbed it, that sword needs to disappear, and so does that balloon. So that's where this bit comes in. The game quests get quest number 2 again in brackets, as you know. Current step is equal to 1, which number 1 is this one here now, because obviously 0, 1, 2, 3. There's 0. Let's see if someone needs help. If that's the point, you're going to turn off the parallel event by using the control self switch B. Okay, over there, and it's gone, completely gone. Now, next part is just to finish off now. I know it's been long, I do apologise. He set variables into these as well. They're as simple as walking over them. Okay, they're below your character, but still require an action button to pick them up. This is the cleaning the bedroom quest. Clean up, pick up all the things and wait for mum. So when he created this, it's pick up all the things, show progress, so you can have a look, see how many you've picked up. There's 10 items to pick up, and the variable is stuff picked up. Okay, so in each item, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, see, as you can see, in each one is below character action, control variable is stuff picked up plus 1. So it knows that every time you click on one of them, it disappears, and that's 1, 2, 3, and it'll add. So that it knows then every time you pick up one, it'll update the quest. So if stuff picked up is 10, which means you've picked them all up, what it'll do is quest next step 3. Okay, so quest number 3, bam, quest number 3, and next step, you've picked all the things up, it knows you've done 10 out of 10, wait for mom. Done. Cell switch A, bam, sorted. Okay. Cleanup failed. That doesn't make a difference. You can add that if you want, but basically they're disappearing if the cleanup fails as well anyway, so they do get cleaned up, whatever happens. Once you've finished and you go back to bed, this is where it gets a bit crazy now and out of hand, but it's just showing you what quests can be done. This is really more of how to fail a quest. I actually failed it first time running through this video. I didn't even think of picking these up. I must have not read the fact that he says I need to clean up in here. I thought he was just stating there was a mess. So, a longish script, okay. Most people use beds for sleeping and healing, like an inn, but hey, this bed was used for something different. So, if script, what this is again, it's a conditional branch. Now, it's a bit of a mouthful in there, as you can see, but what he's done is, again, the game, he's checking the party has quest 2, which they should have, and they would have, because it was right at the start of the game. Okay, game quest as well to current step equals 3. Okay, so we're going to go here, quest number 2, bam, it's checking that one, okay, and it's also checking that you've had the quest, okay, so, which, like I said, you should have had that quest anyway. It's checking if you've had it, and it's checking if your current step is equal to 3, which is, well, like I said, 0, 1, 2, 3, so tired, time for some rest. If you haven't killed the 10 monsters and you haven't activated current step 3, oh sugar, it'll kick up a different line by here. So what it'll do is, if you have activated them, okay, and they're all where they should be, he's going to say, time for some rest, quest complete number 2, okay, so adventure time, quest complete, well, hey, fade out the screen, wait 60 frames, okay, success, that's good. Now, what it'll do as well is check how you done with picking up your stuff in the room. Like I said, clean up was a side quest. I failed it, so I'm not bothered, I don't care. I can't believe I did, but hey. The wait for mum section and pick up all items. So it'll then check while the black frame, while it's faded out and it's everything, if stuff picked up is equal to 10. Now, if it wasn't, when the screen comes back to life, your mother is going to answer with, I thought I told you to clean this room, you're grounded, mister. Clean up failed on quest fail 3. Okay, so plug in command quest fail 3 and a control switch for cleanup failed. That's not needed, really. Cleanup failed equals on just makes all these disappear and the room will magically clean itself anyway. So when it comes back on, there's nothing on the floor. I personally would have just left them, but that's still cool. It's showing what can be done with the quest system. Quest. I thought you told you clear, yeah. So quest fail 3, that'll show up a failed symbol. Now that's in the else section. That's if you didn't pick the 10 items up. If you did pick the 10 items up, as you can see, the room was clean. Complete the quest. I thought I told you to clean. Oh, you did. That was unexpected. Well, here is your allowance, as promised. Wait 60 frames, fade back in, and there's the end of the whole entire thing. And to see that visually, I don't know how long. Oops. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know how loud that is, really. It's quite loud in my ears. So, go away, go away. Yeah. Just drop it down to there. It's easier. So yeah, I don't know if you've gone through this yourself and everything. I don't think I'm going to do it all, so... Right, this is my quest log. I can track progress with it. I can also access it from my menu, thanks to Yanfly's plugin. I can press left or right to change the quest filter. If a quest's information is too long, I can scroll through it using up and down. I feel like going on an adventure. I should probably grab my sword first. I should probably clean this place up at some point. Haha, so, see? The parallel quest that was set up is activating the sword and the bubble. The moment you collect it, there, all set. So parallel quest has been reset and it's running. So as I said, if you check your quest log, you've actually got a gathering, cleanup that was added, and a story, adventure time. Okay, so I'm going to pick them up. Just tap on them and pick them up. As simple as that. Now for each one you pick up, because of the variable that's been set in it, pick up all things 4 of 10. So each time you add one, it adds 1 to the variable, and you're good to go and you're laughing. Variable, variable. So the event obviously is kicked in. Click on a cat, and it does nothing. Her speech bubble's there. If you click on him, I can't trust you to go beyond this point, maybe help some of the other people and consider it, blah 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 blah. And he will talk to you and just say, well, how would you do there? She will ask you so kindly to look for her cats. The moment she does that, the parallel event that we set up, well, that Gameus has set up, causes the neighbour to get a speech bubble. I think so, 1 or 2 of them over by the lake. Now his speech bubble will stay there because we didn't tell it to disappear when she'd spoken to him. But you can now pick up the cats, and each cat you pick up will add... Cat collector. Find all 5 cats. Mrs. Butter's worst neighbour might have seen them. 3 of 5. Secret, potion, and G. G. Gold. Don't be silly. And, well, okay, so we have 5. Gather in. 5 out of 5. But it's not grayed out because we haven't actually finished it, because you need to hand it to her. So you've got 5, his bubble disappeared, hers appeared now because it knows that once you collect 5, parallel event tells it to go to her now for a speech bubble. Thank you so much. I guess the hidden reward was a big sloppy kiss. I need to kill some monsters. Quest log, story, adventure time, grab your sword, done. See if someone needs help, done. Clean up, 5 of 10, cat collector, completed. You're going to head up here, talk to this guy. Well, you proved yourself as a hero. Not really, though. A 5-year-old could have done those tasks. I suppose I'll let you go through. And all your parallel events now have completely vanished from this area. He was the last of it. Just check in. And up to that section. But I'm going to leave it at that. If you have any questions, I'm sure you'll ask in the forums. So take care. Good luck. I hope you enjoy it.